everyone, thank you so much for clicking onto this video. My name is Lena and welcome to my channel. Since we're all stuck in a quarantine, I thought it was going to be a good idea to show you what I'm reading at the moment, and maybe that's going to inspire you to become more productive and make the most out of this time. Alright, so the first position on my quarantine 2020 book list is Alkaline Plant-Based Diet by Queen Anise. I'm not sure if that's the correct way of pronouncing the last name, but I did my best. So this is the writer's personal story, how he became vegan, why he became vegan, and he's showing his points of view, why he stopped eating meat, why he stopped eating dairy. So the first thing that really hit me while reading this book is that the meat factories, it's such a huge business for the countries, the amount of money and the economy that is bringing to the country just because of, producing meat and dairy. These are enormous tons of money, and when you think about it, it's actually really scary what they're doing to cut costs. One of the points that he's trying to say is that the cattle is being fed with the parts of butchered cattle. So basically they're eating themselves, and that's why there's a mad cow disease that is actually really bad for people as well, because whatever we eat we absorb in our body. Just the same like the cattle is also being fed with like a chicken's feces. It's something that is not natural to them, so they have a lot of diseases, a lot of mutations, and then after we eat or drink milk from them we get it as well. That's why so many people don't react to antibiotics when they have certain infections, because they already eat meat regularly, and that meat comes from cows and the cattle that have been taking antibiotics for their entire life before they get killed. So honestly, when you read that book, I feel like it's really good because it's like a research-based book, but it's not boring. So every time he says something, he's like proving a point and he's showing a lot of data. What's also interesting in that story is that the writer of the book is also following the diet of Dr. Sebi, who is a pioneer in raw veganism. And he's also saying that our bodies, they should be kept alkaline, which basically means that the pH level in our bodies should be higher than 7. And a lot of foods, especially fast foods, a lot of meat, a lot of dairy, everything is acidic. So if the pH level in our blood is lower than 7, this is when the disease happen. This is when the cancer happen, and this is where you get sick as people. And honestly, reading those cases and how he's trying to prove his theory, it's really, really interesting. So the second position on my Kindle book is a book by Gabrielle Bernstein, and it is called, let me have a look, The Universe Have Your Back, Turn Fear into Faith. And what I like about this, so I started reading it recently, and I am maybe in, a couple pages in. It's also a really short book as well. It says on my Kindle that it's only 2.5 hours to read it, so highly recommend that if you want something quick and easy. And it's all about, our subconscious beliefs, what we believe, and how this affects our life. It says that the most important thing in our life is the fear that we have inside. So even though we meditate, we do our best to be the version of ourselves, sometimes it's not enough, because something that we have at the back of our head, in our, subconscious mind. So this book is, it's all about self-reflection, just to stop, take a few breaths and focus on our lives, where we can improve, what we want to do, how we can let go of our fears and limitations and everything that is stopping us from achieving our best possible life. Prepare yourself that it is a lot to take in the sense that you're gonna have to take a notepad, take your pen, and just write a lot of things down. And the number 3 on my list is a book, A People's History of United States by Howard Zinn. Is it Zinn? No, it's not Zinn, it's Zinn, by Howard Zinn. Zinn. And the third position on my book list, it is A People's History of the United States by Howard Zinn. And it is honestly such a good book. First of all, it's really long, so it's 800 pages. And when I started reading this, I was like, oh my god, that's such a long book. But then a few minutes into it, it's quite easy to get into. It's so interesting. There's so many facts that you would never learn at school. There's a lot of like actual quotations of like the documents that were, you know, found from centuries ago. So for example, there's a little anecdote about the slaves. There was actually a quotation of a letter of a priest who was brought from England to the New World, to America, to control the life of the slaves. And he wrote to Vatican, and he said, how can this be? Is that, you know, is that what the God tells us, that we can have those slaves? And they literally replied that everything that is black is deviled, and everything that is white is pure and angelic. Bringing people from Africa to work as slaves is absolutely like totally acceptable. So when you think about it and you read the actual, you know, words that they said, those cardinals, a few centuries ago, it's literally mind-blowing. Alright, number 4, it's a romance. Because I feel like, you know, I need something cheesy. I need something that's gonna be like really light, something that if you read on it, it's never gonna happen, but we still believe in. How to Fall in Love, How Cheesy, by Cecelia, Ahern. And it's a story based in Dublin in Ireland? Is Dublin in Ireland? Is Dublin in Ireland? How do you say island? And it's about a girl she's fallen in love with a guy who wanted to commit suicide at the bridge, and she saves his life, and she says to him, look, I'm gonna fix your life. Don't kill yourself again, I'll save you. And so it's a really light read, even though the topic, it should not be a light read because it's about somebody's having clear mental issues, but it's all twisted in a kind of funny way. So I'm halfway through it, and it's a really, really cute book. It reminds me of like those movies that are on Netflix for girls, To All the Boys I Loved Before and stuff like that. And honestly, in this time, in the quarantine, that's what we should be reading. I'm gonna link it down below because you can definitely get it. Especially if you have Kindle Unlimited, it is free. But even if you don't have Kindle Unlimited, it is 99p. The last book on my list, it's a thriller, because I feel like I had all the types of books before. So I had a history, I had, you know, the research book, I had the romance, and now it's time for a thriller. And it is a book by Mark Edwards. I don't think he's a very known author, and I found it on Kindle as well for 99p. And it's actually really good. It's about a guy who's looking for love, and he meets a girl. And as soon as he meets her, a lot of bad things happen in his life. Like people get killed, their homes, they get broken into. You know, he's starting to think, oh my god, is she a sociopath? Is she or is she not? You don't expect the ending of it. So I've actually read that book already. I'm such a like gullible person. Like for me, there was only one way of this book ending, but it's actually not. So there's a twist at the end that you would never expect. You know, when you wake up in the morning and you have your coffee, and that's the book that you want to be reading. Thank you so much for clicking onto this video, for watching it, and I hope you did enjoy it. I'm gonna give you an update in a few weeks time how I got along with my list. Let me know in the comments below if you did enjoy it, and what are your favorite books to read during this difficult time. Please stay safe, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.